Today, I'm gonna show you exactly how I get most of my diamonds on the Hunter of the Wild. This is in my opinion the best way to get diamonds and rares on this game. And I just wanna make clear that this is not meant to be a beginner's guide. You need to know at least the basics of the game for this to be effective. Since I started playing this game, my favorite thing to do has always been to hunt diamonds. Not rares, not wonky racks, but the animals that give you the diamond medal. And I know this is the same case for a lot of people, and for a good reason, because in my opinion, the diamonds, the rares, and the grey ones are the most important elements on this game. The trophies are the reason why a lot of people keep playing this game, and of course that also includes me. The community has always been trying to find the best and easiest way to find diamonds, looking to answer the not so basic question, which is how to get more diamonds. That is a question that could be answered in many different ways, but in my experience, the best answer to this question is something that a lot of people do, but it's a thing that I consider a skill. It's something that you can get better at, and the better you become, the more diamonds you get. This skill is server hopping, but done correctly. Server hopping is basically joining a random multiplayer session, checking the best hotspots, and then moving on to another session to do the same until you find a trophy or multiple trophies. It sounds simple, but you need to consider many things to get really good at it. I mean, this video is not a server hopping tutorial. I mean, there's nothing special in going from server to server. This video is actually about the things you need to do to get thousands of diamonds through server hopping. This is how I've gotten more than 90% of my diamonds. First of all, you need to know that there are two main ways to get diamonds. The first one is single player grinding, and the second one is server hopping, as I said. So before anything, before any of the steps that I'm gonna show you to be great doing server hopping, you need to know that server hopping is the best way and easiest way to get diamonds in case you are going for quantity. While on the other hand, if you need a particular diamond, single player grinding will give you the possibility to effectively target any specific species. This is done by setting up a grind around all these zones for this particular animal. This way you can get a lot of respawns and eventually a diamond for the animal you want. That's the biggest advantage of single player grinding, and you need to consider that before you start server hopping. On the other hand, if your goal is to get a lot of diamonds and increase your diamond count, as well as filling your trophy lodge with a wide variety of trophies, then server hopping is way better than single player grinding. So the first and most basic thing to start getting good at server hopping is to learn the best hotspots for each map. This one is essential for both single player grinding and server hopping, but is more important for server hopping is the starter pack, and there is a requirement for the most important thing that I'm gonna explain near the end of the video. You don't need every single hotspot, you need the best ones, and to help you learn all these locations, I recommend you to look for hotspot maps. You can find a lot on the internet and also on my Discord server. I make this kind of maps which essentially show the best times and all the locations to hunt each animal. As you can see here, I make the distinction between the best spots, which are the yellow ones, and the not so good spots, which are the red ones. So for server hopping, you'll want to focus on the yellow ones, as long as the server is at the correct time. You have to pay attention to the server time, because based on it is that you're gonna choose the spots you are gonna visit. Now, once you have an idea of what spots and what animals you're gonna hunt based on the time, you can continue to step 2, which is to scan the map. For this, you need to open the map and make sure that the spots you plan to visit are unexplored. And you might ask, how do I know that? It is simple actually. If there is not a single need zone nor hunting pressure around it, then it's extremely likely that no one has ever been there. So if it's a yellow spot and there is unexplored, then don't think it twice and go there. Those are the kind of locations that you want to check on multiplayer. Okay, so in brief, you join a server, then you choose spots based on the time, then you check which of them are unexplored, and you visit the ones that are. That could be considered the basic principle of an effective server hopping. I'm gonna show you an example here on Buronga Savannah. Let's say we want to hunt Gamesbok and Warhawk drink zones. Both of them actually drink at the same time, which is 4 to 8 in the morning, so this server at 6:34 is a very good choice. This will give us a chance to hunt the spots we know for these two species. Okay, so we're here. Now the first thing is to see which of the spots we want to check are unexplored. Okay, so once you know the hotspots, you'll know that this lake down here is really good, but it's already explored. Then this red lake is also really good, and there are a couple of zones, but there are no drink zones discovered, which are the zones we want to check. And that means that this spot qualifies as an unexplored location. We are gonna go there. Let's see our spot, which is great for Warhawk, but well, it is already explored. There was a Warhawk drink zone right there, so we know it is explored. Now let's see up here this red lake. It also has a zone, so it is not an option this time. Now let's see up here. and there are no zones around this area, so that's another spot we need to visit on this server, as well as this other lake down here. Okay, so that's the basic. You learn the best spots and you do what I just did. However, that is not enough. The thing that will really make the difference is knowing alternative spots. These are not the same as the best hotspots. I mean, the best hotspots are usually drink zones and they are the base for server hopping. On the other hand, the alternative hotspots usually involve great feed zones and great rest zones. Essentially would be to learn more locations apart from the famous drink zones, which as I said are the best feed zones and the best rest zones for each map. For example, let's say you're on a session that is at the Cape Buffalo drink time. If you only know drink zones, then your only option will be to hunt Cape Buffalo hotspots, maybe Jackal. While if you also know multiple feed zones and rest zones for other species, then you will expand your possibilities and you will see beyond the Cape Buffalo hotspots. This is gonna let you hunt a lot more animals, doesn't matter the time. You know, drink zones will always be the easiest way to find animals, but there are also feed zones that are on nice open areas full of animals, as well as some rest zones, especially on maps like Burunga Savannah, Herschelden, and Silver Ridge Peaks. The more of this you know, the less you'll depend on the server time and the more animals you will be able to spot per server. And this is actually the key. The more animals you spot, the more trophies you find. As simple as that. You know, the ultimate goal of all these tips, the ultimate goal of learning the best drink zones, feed zones, and rest zones, and overall the ultimate goal of server hopping is to spot as many animals as possible on the shortest amount of time, which is essentially to be time efficient. This brings us to the last step to be great at server hopping. I think it's actually obvious, but that is to apply all I said on as many servers as you can. Visit only a few locations per server, let's say from 5 to 10. You check them and then you do the same on a different server. In case you join a map that is full of zones, full of players, then I recommend you to leave it and go and look for a map that is not as explored. Okay, so to summarize all of this, the key to be a great multiplayer hunter and the key to be a great diamond hunter is to spot as many animals as possible on each server you visit and repeat it on as many multiplayer servers as you can. And the more hotspots you know, the better you will be at this. Focus on learning the hotspots. That's the most important and hardest part about the strategy. To make this more simple, you can, as I said, watch guides, look for hotspot maps, and if you want, I recommend you to join my Discord because I will be uploading all kinds of maps for drink zones, feed zones, and rest zones. Link on the description in case you want to join us. Okay, now, you also need to know that not everything about server hopping is great. You need to know that in multiplayer you are exposed to hackers, cheaters, modders, and sometimes you will come across players that will want to ruin your hunt, maybe by using four-wheelers or just trying to steal your trophies. You can also have connection issues, and there's always a chance that you find a diamond on a server and you lose it for any of these things. That's the disadvantage of server hopping, but I really think it is worth it on the long run, because once you get good at it, you'll see single player and it will feel boring. Like on single player you can control everything. It is simply not as interesting. That's what I think. I hope this video helps, thanks for watching and see you next time.